RWM Home Loans in Fresno is a proud sponsor of Fuego FC. RWM Fresno, mortgages made easy and where your journey begins. Envision Realty, we want to help those achieve the dream of home ownership. We are your voice and will be right by your side from beginning to end and beyond. Visit www.envisionfresno.com and be a future home owner.
The Jose Gonzalez Show, Monday through Friday, 12 to 2, here on 1430 ESPN. And a great show so far for all of you tuning in, and it is getting even better. I teased earlier about a great guest that we are having on, and we have the man himself in front of us, Central Valley Fuego FC. It is Martín Vásquez. He is the new head coach for Central Valley Fuego FC, and we have him here. Welcome and bienvenido.
Thank you, Jose Luis. Thank you for this invitation, and it's a pleasure to be here and talk about Central Valley Fuego. You know?
Yeah, so let's kind of start at the beginning for people to kind of know who you are, because I've known who you are. I'm gonna preface this by saying, for those that don't know Mexican League soccer, I am a Chivas fan. Okay, so that's how I grew up, going to Estadio Jalisco, and I went to some of those games, and they come here in Fresno, same thing. And so I remember Chivas USA. And so when I was told by the great people at Fuego who was coming, I just kind of had to go back mentally to my young days where I was a kid, and I went, it is a full circle moment for me having you here because of where you got started. You played U.S. men's national team, Mexico national team. You coached all over the world. But the one thing that popped into my brain was Chivas USA. And it is incredible to think that. But let's start at the playing side of things. So you were one of the first players to play for the Mexican national team and then play for the U.S. men's national team as well. Now that you see a lot of that kind of happening, where there is a fight right now between Mexico and the U.S. on this young talent, that young talent, a guy like Ricardo Pepi, right? That made the decision to play for the U.S. instead of Mexico. But for you, what was it like in that moment and in that time where maybe soccer wasn't as prevalent, as big as it's gotten here in the United States there in the early 90s? How was that decision making for you?
Well, in the early 90s, I was in Mexico in Liga MX playing. And, you know, I played for Universidad de Guadalajara at that time, started with Universidad de Guadalajara, and play, you know, now that you mentioned you're a Guadalajara or Chivas fan, I play for the rival Atlas.
Yeah.
You know, I play for Atlas, and, you know, it was great, you know, but going to your question, when I had the opportunity to play for Mexico, the national team, it was a great honor. You know, it's a dream. It's everybody's dream once you become a professional soccer player, once you start your career.
Yeah.
And for me, you know, I had that dream, that goal. And when I had the opportunity, when they called me in and I wore the La Verde, you know, la playera del Tri, it was a great honor for me, you know, and I remember, you know, those moments, and it was incredible.
And so just playing at that level, because that's another level, right? It's where everybody hopes and dreams to go, which is play with the jersey of their country on them and represent their country. The World Cup is coming up in just a few months, so that's going to be a really cool thing. But thinking of your playing career, how did your playing career decide and affect the way you have made yourself into and molded into the coach you are today?
Well, I think, playing at the highest level, or, playing in college, playing in high school, playing club, and all the way to professional level, I think when you play the game at the highest level and you become a coach, you teach and you coach from experience. So that's already a plus. That's already a positive. And then also, what molds you into a coach, it's also the coaches you have, the mentors you have during the time that you play, and you learn different things from all the coaches you have. And then also, once you start coaching, you're an assistant coach first, most of the time, and then those coaches, how they influence you in everything, in leadership, in tactics, in understanding the game, and in everything. So I think all this has helped me to be the coach that I am now, and I think I can say I had very good coaches during my playing career. I had very good assistant coaches. I was an assistant coach for some very good coaches, and then after so many years, well, here I am trying to be, do the same thing, what they did and what I saw and what they did during that time, and it's been very, very helpful.
So we're talking to new head coach of the Central Valley Fuego FC, Martín Vásquez. And so you look at the way kind of playing the game has molded you a little bit, and you talk about being an assistant coach and kind of viewing and seeing how certain things kind of mold. Your tactical way of going about things, what is your thought process on the tactical aspect? Meaning, I remember when I was playing, which was 15 years ago, and I can't kick a soccer ball to save my life anymore, but that's besides the question. But when I remember, the game has changed. Just in the last 10, 15 years, it was a lot of 4-4-2s, and it was the diamond aspect of certain things. And then you shifted into the center backs that kind of hold a little bit more, and then you play the defensive center mid in front of of those guys. Like, it started changing and molding into different ways. Your tactical aspect, has that molded with the new time, or do you have a set way you like to kind of go about things?
I think the intelligence of the players you have, their IQ for the game, you have to see the personnel that you have, and then from there, decide how you want to play, what formation you want to play. Because we're talking about a system, we're talking about formation, whether it's 4-3-3, 4-4-2, 3-5-2. I mean, there are different formations, and some teams or some coaches base how they want to play with the personnel they have. Now, when we talk about style of play, how do you want to play? I have been very fortunate to have some coaches and that like to play at a high intensity, that like to play, possession oriented. I, played and had head coaches as an assistant that, wanted to play high press and play more direct. But then what kind of player you were during your career? And I thought I was a technical player. I like to move the ball, to keep the ball. I think when you are the head coach, you want to identify yourself with your team on the field as playing good football, balance soccer, to get results, to compete, to win. And the formation, the system that you're talking about, is based on the personnel you have, the players you have. So I think, that's how some coaches go about it, or that's their approach.
Coach, why Fuego? Why Central Valley Fuego FC? What interested you about this job in looking for, again, this team thus far, one win, one draw in league play, just getting started. A win over El Paso Locomotives, the USL League, USL Championship side here at home, which was just a resounding victory. What interested you about this core group of guys and just about the Fuego brand?
Well, I knew about Fuego as a coach. We were invited to come here, or the competition, because I remember Fresno Fuego when I was with Los Angeles Galaxy, when I was with Chivas USA, when I was with Real Salt Lake. So I knew about Fresno Fuego. And then, earlier you mentioned Chivas USA. Mm-hmm. So our first year with Chivas USA, we had we played against Fresno Fuego, and they were a good team back then. And from that team, we ended up taking, guys like Milton Blanco, Orlando Ramirez, Gaston, Raul, so it's a circle of life. It's the full circle. I know your next question, but it just happened that way. So when I was contacted by, Central Valley Fuego FC, Nini, we started talking, and he talked about the project. He talked about the team. He talked about, things that, you start a conversation. At that time, I was involved, and I was working for Los Angeles United Football Academy as the academy director. But I was interested because of the vision of Mr. Relas, what he started telling me about what they want to do here in the Central Valley, not just in Fresno, but around the area. So I said, okay, I'm willing to sit down, to drive to Fresno to meet, and the rest is, one thing, fell in place, one thing led to another, and I'm excited to be here.
It's insane to me to kind of think about what you just said, the full circle, because I remember Milton getting the chance and going up to playing at Chivas USA. I remember that Fuego team in 04, 05, 06. I remember those things because I was 10 years old playing soccer, and I looked up to those guys. And so when I talk about Fuego, I talk about it in a sense of thinking about the young me and thinking about the kids now that are looking up to these guys, that are looking up to you now and are looking up and saying, I would love one day to be playing for Fuego. I would love one day to play for Central Valley Fuego FC. And I think that that's another stone here in the Valley, is that there's so much local talent that's a possibility.
It is. Dreams come true. Sí se puede. I live the American dream. The last 10 years, 11 years, I've been involved in the development, soccer phase here in the U.S. And I've been part of developing over 50 professional players. Yeah. And that, the last 10 years, 11 years, it motivates me, it drives me. And when Mr. Relas started talking about players here in the Central Valley, build a sports complex, have a residential program, have an academy, I think this is place, there's a lot of talent, there's so much talent. And I was interested by that because that's a great satisfaction of mine. And I would love to give some of the Milton Blancos of that time of today, give them the opportunity to play for Central Valley Fuego.
Central Valley Fuego FC, and it is it's a big honor to have you in here for me, just because I if there's one thing I enjoy talking about, it's soccer, right? Football. And let's actually get into the player aspect of things. And have you gotten to see the team play yet? Have you kind of seen them from afar, seen them up close? Have you had a practice with the guys yet? Have you gotten to know them a little bit? And what, if you have, what do you like? What from what you see so far?
Well, once we started the conversation and we saw that this could work out because of the vision and the plan they presented, and I found it very interesting. I've watched their 3 games. I saw a very good team. It's a new franchise. It's a new team. I've had the opportunity to already, train them for 4 days. And, I think Nini, I think Milton, Eddie, Hugo, I think Jaime, before he left, they did an excellent job of putting a good group of determined and talented soccer players. And, I want to come in, I'm excited. I already, had the opportunity to work with them. And, I want to be part of this group, in accomplishing big things here in the Central Valley. I think there's a lot of work to be done, but what they've shown in the 3 games that they play, it's, a very good, talented, determined group. That's how I see it, that has a lot of potential.
Martine Vásquez, he is the new head coach, Central Valley Fuego FC. That's who we are talking to right now. And Coach, thinking about the home opener that's coming May 7th, Fresno State Soccer Stadium. Fuego FC is doing this cool thing of kind of putting in more seats and giving more capabilities. Just for my liking, at La Monica Stadium, I was there. I went to go and just not just watch the game, but kind of see how the response was going to be on I believe, Tuesday night, 7:30 p.m., a game at La Monica Stadium where Fuego hadn't announced that they were going to play, and people were like, is that going to be where they're playing? And they put in 3,000, 3,500, something in that range. It was one side of La Monica Stadium was completely packed. It was overflow. And I just sat there and I go, people here love soccer. They love the sport. Does that energize you, knowing that the fan base here is passionate about the game?
I was at the game, and I sat behind, the hardcore fans, and the chanting, the supporting, the singing. I had chills on me because I saw the support and the interest of being there or going there. But I go back to 05 and 06 and 07 when I was here with Galaxy, with Chivas USA, with Real Salt Lake. When they played at Chansey Park, I remember 10,000 fans. To see that Tuesday night against El Paso, that team, felt, so much energy when they saw the fans, the turnout of the fans, and they send a message. They send a message to the fans saying thank you for your support. We're gonna play good football for you guys, and we're gonna play our hearts out. And I think that's one of the things why I'm so excited, and I took this challenge, and I want to contribute.
Looking at the guys that you have on this team, you have a guy like a William Bijev who's been everywhere, right? He went to over there overseas when he was 18 years old, playing in Sacramento Republic for quite some time, also moving forward, and now coming back home for him. When you think about players, the fact that you have some 30-year-olds on the squad, you have some 18-year-olds on the squad. You have a good crop, I believe, of veteran guys and youngsters that want and are biting at the bits of getting an opportunity to have just a chance at some playing time. How does that look for you in a squad when you look at it and go, man, I got some really good older guys, and I don't want to call them older, but some vets, right, that have been around, that have played the game, and some young kids that are just wanting an opportunity?
When I talk about a talented group and determined and hungry group, that you describe that group that we have right now. And I, after my career of playing professional soccer, I became a coach, and since I became a coach, I started preaching, take advantage of the opportunities, take it, embrace it. And it's refreshing. It's so good to see, some of the talent in the area, not just young players, but also experienced players, because I know BJ is from here. I know Christian is from here, and other guys. So it's a good group of players, and I'm excited to be part of it.
Coach, before I let you go, I do like doing a little get to know you moments, right? What was your favorite goal you've ever scored? What was that one that is imprinted right here in the brain that you can think of and you can imagine? Because when we score, and the best goals just stay in the brain. Do you have that moment?
Yes, but there were times when it was an assist or it was the shout out. I'm gonna get a little bit. I'm gonna get a little bit tactical.
Mm-hmm.
I think one amazing moment that I had during my career, and I still get the chills every time I talk about it, is when I played for the U.S. against the Mexican national team at Azteca Stadium in a World Cup qualifier. 115,000 people, okay? And just going there, and Mexico has never given up a point in a World Cup qualifier until that day. So I did not score that goal. I did not score a goal that day on that game, but I got to play in that game. And we tied 0-0, and it was a great moment for me. And it marked my life, my career, and I still remember it.
And that's moment in itself. Thinking about 110,000 screaming Mexican fans, because there probably was 500 U.S. men's national team fans over there. It was a Mexican crowd out there, and they're not a friendly group. They're not a friendly group, especially in qualifiers. When we talk about food, for me, you can give me tacos every day. Asada, tripas, lengua, it doesn't matter. I'm a taco guy. And here in Fresno, we have great tacos anywhere you want to go. But what's your favorite food, Coach?
I'm very similar, Jose Luis. I'm a taco guy, carne asada, quesadillas. But I also, I love mariscos, and I was very fortunate to live in Guadalajara for many years.
Oh, wow.
And go to Tepic and go to Vallarta, and they have, amazing seafood. Yeah. So I'm a big fan also of, ceviche and pescado zarandeado.
Yeah, we're lucky being Mexican. The food is just great.
I agree.
It's second not to many. Coach, before you go here, I want to give you a chance to say anything you want to say to the supporters that are listening, to those that are listening right now that want to give Fuego an opportunity. I just want to give you the floor to whatever you want to say to that group and that core group of fans that are listening, getting to know you, and getting ready to support you and Fuego FC this season.
Well, I want to say a couple of things. One is, to thank the 3,500 or 4,000 fans that came to the game, the Open Cup game against El Paso. I want to invite our community, our fans, to come and support, Central Valley Fuego, their team, because we have very good players, and they're gonna play for their fans and for their community. And also, my message is to young players that we have here in the Central Valley. Si se puede. Work hard. Play hard. We'll be watching. I mean, I think those are the two messages that I want to send.
The new head coach for Central Valley Fuego FC, Martín Vásquez. It's a great ring to it. I'm excited to see you get to work, Coach. I'm excited to see this team. I am excited for this upcoming season. May 7th, you do not want to miss this upcoming first regular season home game, and you do not want to miss any of the games this season. FuegoFC.com. Go out there and check out the tickets. Check out and go buy your jersey. Go buy whatever you're going to buy and go out and support Fuego FC. Coach, I really appreciate your time.
Thank you, Jose Luis. This is great for us, and we appreciate, the invitation and any time.
Martine Vasquez, he is the new head coach. He is ready, and we are ready to watch him work. You're listening to the Jose Gonzalez Show on 1430 ESPN.